had operated on bare bones from 2018 August to 12th August 2020, but yet the Ministry of Finance and the Minister of Information and Communication consider SALCAB as the end user and the principal settler of a liability of 294 billion euros, in addition to existing debt that already SALCAB cannot pay.
Money for run the institution. Now one concern this will make the Ministry of Information and Communication want for scatter SALCAB. With this, na question where Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte be asked the minister for explain both.
The minister can tell us which of them is right, whether it is the presentation to cabinet that SALCAB is not making money and they have been living on bare bones and that they are only surviving at break-even, or the one that the president presented to Parliament, Mr. Minister.
I don't walk into an ambush. So sorry enough, I'm not going there. I have done a presentation. Cabinet has concluded by your own admission. Until otherwise advised, I have a cabinet conclusion to implement, and I am very scrupulously going to adhere to that.
Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte believes say the minister not able to convince member them na the committee as to why they want for shape SALCAB to 2.
The minister has deceived cabinet. If SALCAB is going to be unbundled, let it be known that the minister did not explain to Parliament the reasons why SALCAB should be unbundled, because from what he has presented and from the questions asked is that he is not ready to validate information provided by the Ministry of Information and Communication to the President. We have also seen that the process of consultation has come at the end of the process, that at the beginning, those that invested money in the formation of SALCAB, the World Bank, the IDB, and others should have been consulted, like it was done for the unbundling of the NPA. What I would have thought that the minister could have put forward is the essence could have been divesting SALCAB so that they can make more money. But as it is, we cannot get the information that's consistent with the reasons advanced for unbundling. The minister is in contempt of Parliament.
After all this, serious arguments been between member them na the committee and the Minister of Information and Communication, Mohamed Swari, we make them stand down for 5 minutes, where the leadership of Parliament been called the chairman, Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte, and later, where he come for resume session, he resigned in position as chairman for the Transparency Committee. For Radio Democracy, Princess Piasley reports.
I don't care how we they make Topo Cantine. One day it go backfire. Hey, hey, hey. Nothing lasts forever. Myself I go sing to attire. Hey, hey, hey. But I no say do me anything you do, now I go follow you. Hey. Man and they see man and they drive and the bro. The man and all they behave like man and no God. Oh. Man and they see man and they build mansions. 45,000 and forget na the ghetto. Man and they born under the sun. The man they no one then dry eye bad. Then see don't power with money like my inheritance. And they know they see man they hide and they yellow. Them they laugh for them they wicked we. What we do that they don't know to this we wish for. But now you don't tell me we they wait for. He who laugh last and you tell me they wait for. Like a Kabbalah curve then they bend we. Sky in democracy this what we go vote for. Where the voice of the people know me nothing. No rule of law, nothing. They know I hear it nothing. All man wants for nothing. So me take me distance. And me not dance all kind dance. Cause cockroach not against sweet elephants. One time spend me a heavenly militant. Yes, them turns out me vibrant. But only God who stop me relevant. Yes, sugar not they give them one chance. Voice of the people, not a thing for the surveillance. Anyhow we be man and go belly.
Na song titled Vibrant, where Emma Simbokari do for we na the program Good Morning Salon this morning. Well, the Salon government through NACOVAC wants for inform the general public say now person if you want travel for comot or come na the country you forget you COVID-19 test now you earn 1 week before the time where they travel instead of the 72 hours where them be the one for now they don't extend until 1 week. If you don't do your COVID-19 test and you get your results now you earn 1 week before you travel for come or for come out na the country. We dey continue with the program Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. Well, today na the program, we dey look at findings where Carl been do inside a perception survey report where they pull na do then call actions, hopes, and impediments in the fight against corruption in Sierra Leone. We don't talk so much, but it's in the way Carl been pull na the report and then look at the top most corrupt for public institution them and parliament they among them for public institution they are with the perception survey report say na them corrupt more na the country. Well, on the line now we get the deputy director of public education na the Salon Parliament when Sheku Lamin Toure. Good morning, Mr. Toure, and welcome to the program Good Morning Salon.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Toure, good morning. Hello.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Toure, good morning. Producer them they try for fix the telephone 9 day. Who's how they can talk
Hello?
public education from the
Hello?
House of Parliament. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the program.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Toure, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, sir, good morning, sir.
Hello? Good morning, 98.1?
Yes, would they look at a
Hello,
report
good morning,
will come out from
98.1?
the Center for Accountability and the Rule of Law, CAL. Also, then look at corruption and then look at 4 top most corrupt public institution them. And the institution where they work for in the House of Parliament, they among them top 4 institution there where the perception report should say them corrupt. Good morning. Hello, Mr. Toure, they hear me?
Yeah, they get you now.
All right. As they say earlier, we look at a report, a perception survey where Carl been do, sometimes in 2009. Also, they look at the top most corrupt public institution them. And parliamentary they work for they among them 4 institution they are say now the most corrupt institution them and then get the most corrupt individuals inside the institution they are so. Una parliament don't see this particular report? If yes, what una make up of them?
Well, thank you very much, 98.1. This report here, so we see some pieces na social media we refer to the Parliament of Sierra Leone as the second most corrupt institution in the Republic of Sierra Leone. So immediately, as a parliament, I engage the leadership, and then we began to come out with a disclaimer for refute that particular position that Parliament is the second most corrupt institution in the country. And we be issue out that disclaimer this past Sunday because it was on a Saturday where one popular journalist and arranger been publicize that in a social media. So as a result, we began to respond. That happened before a particular program, saying AYV, where a member of parliament, in view, it make it clear say they represent or talk on behalf of parliament, but they give a personal view as to that particular conclusion on the 2019 perception survey report, where a DFID funded consortium led by Carl Bindu. So, and we make and state and very clear that the Parliament of Sierra Leone not corrupt, and that the Parliament of Sierra Leone don't do so many things where they don't listen to the cries of the people of Sierra Leone. We get to do with conditions of service. You gotta agree with me, that the Parliament of Sierra Leone, now the West African region, now the least paid, and that members of parliament they operate under difficult circumstances. But
Mr.
judging
you
from the
say una not agree with waiting the inside this report that the Parliament of Sierra Leone not corrupt. But I take you back to other instances then we don't happen apart from this perception survey report we call Punado. We be done they see issues of alleged corruption. I remember sometimes Radio Democracy be do a story Usai, the former mayor for Kenema City Council, be the alleged say member of parliament and be asking for money where he been go now one committee sitting because he not been give them money, then be seized in budget for that year day. We don't dey see a member of parliament they accuse the clerk of parliament na same radio democracy na ya, about corruption. We make ACC be invite the all two na the anti-corruption commission for investigation. With all the instances there, you know think say it enough for say yes corruption they happen at parliament.
Those are not sufficient grounds for say the Parliament of Sierra Leone for make a blanket conclusion say the Parliament corrupt. And let we go back to the fourth Parliament regarding the issue we raised for the former mayor of Kenema City Council. It was an allegation, and the Anti-Corruption Commission investigated it, and Parliament was exonerated at the end of the day. And we see the former mayor Khan in the bar of the House and apologize with regards to that particular allegation. And I believe the 98.1 covered that. So you cannot say Parliament was corrupt. It was an allegation that was investigated, and Parliament was vindicated at the end of the day. The issue regarding the current clerk of Parliament and Honorable Tawa Conte, then get a heated debate or discussion at the very studios of 98.1. The anti-corruption invited them for questioning, and the matter is still under investigation. So you cannot use those two, incidences or circumstances to make a blanket conclusion. And again, I want to bring to your attention that since they do this particular survey, they not ever submit the report to the Parliament of Sierra Leone. I be the follow where Mr. Tommy they say they get discussions. Anything official we get for do with the survival and development of this country. Not to paddy talk. Do it in black and white. Then be ever send or an invitation in writing where somebody signed for now the Parliament of Sierra Leone. When then done,
confirm and say they make attempts for seats with the leadership of Parliament for discuss some of them findings there from the perception, but not be get person for sit with.
No, but even as that, do it in writing. Did they do it in writing that now this we want to do based on the outcome of the survey so that we'll go sit down and discuss? Because remember, we're all partners in development. We are all Sierra Leoneans. We're not to talk about Guineans or Ghanaians or Nigerians here. This is about Sierra Leone. It's about us all. We're all parents and we're concerned for the development of this country. And just like Abide said before you intervene, some members of the consortium don't get problem with Parliament. You go remember, say, on the issue of allegation of CDF, we invited them, and then there's some members of civil society not be happy. And also the issue around, civil society, receiving grants and where the Parliament of Sierra Leone by extension gets responsibility for but the judicious use of them funds then they. And these are constitutional. If you look at section 118, subsection 7 of the 1991 Constitution, it make it clear. It says any gift, grants or donations for be made known to Parliament, and as a result, you therefore be accountable. But then the last Parliament, the Committee on NACSA and NGO, been get for do, an investigation, and it was revealed that civil societies and NGOs, they use 70% of their resources on administration and 30% on development for complement government. So you can see the discrepancy. So the then Parliament began for recommend say, it go good for less civil society, they use 70% of their grants or resources on development and 30% on administration. So now that make, you go see say, Parliament refute the allegation, the SIA say it born out of malice, and that even when they don't do a survey, get that kind.
This report born out of malice.
Yeah, because some members of the consortium we don't get an issue with Parliament. So in the final say, even they not even write to officially or for sit down engage we, as a Parliament as to the outcome of that particular report. And the speaker make it very clear in the interview on BBC. Now that he is shocked and that this is a moment of self-reflection, but that they don't agree, to that particular, conclusion. But then as a Parliament, we go sit down and look at the issues. And as I talk to you now, yesterday, we don't officially communicate to Carl, for let them go present the report to we, so the Parliament of Sierra Leone go sit down and look at that particular report. I think that is administratively plausible and responsible on the part of Parliament.
Mr. Tui, apart from the reports, they point finger upon Parliament as an institution. They also they point finger to the individuals them na Parliament, where na the members of Parliament them say then they among the topmost corrupt individuals them. And looking at this report, now a perception, then go around and talk to people them when are they elect the member of Parliament here for go represent them at the House of Parliament. If them people that way elect them as member of Parliament get this perception about them, you know things say it dampen to Parliament and the members of Parliament them say yes they're involved in corruption.
You go no say parliaments across the world are not liked, not even with the mother of parliamentary democracy in the British Parliament. You know, they even do one survey na England, and when we get the opportunity for go do a short study tour in 2017, they told us, the Public Affairs Department, that they did a research, and you go find out say 70% of the British people say Parliament not relevant. Can you imagine that? But Parliament is an indispensable entity in a democratic polity. You're not going to do away with Parliament because the separation of power makes provision for that of the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. And Parliament get the overriding responsibility for hold, the executive to account for the overall development of the country. So you cannot do away with Parliament. But then, if that's not the perception of the people, and the Parliament of Sierra Leone stand for deny, that particular, perception until evidence are produced, and then the Parliament of Sierra Leone will take appropriate action. But as it stands, just like their issues and the way we don't make references to, that of the Kenema Mayor, that of Honorable Parantarawali and Honorable Tawa Conte, these are allegations, until they are proven, then you cannot say Parliament is corrupt. So the Parliament of Sierra Leone continues in its stance to say the Parliament is not corrupt, and that the matter with regards to confirmation of corruption in Parliament is a matter of privilege. And the Parliament of Sierra Leone, with regards to precedent and looking at Section 97A of the Constitution, we say the member of Parliament for be responsible in conduct both during sittings and in activities both in and out of Parliament. And Section 99 of the Constitution make provision on issues of privilege with regards if a member of Parliament make a statement that is prima facie defamatory in the wisdom of the Speaker, then the Committee on Privileges and Ethics will be set to motion and appropriate action will be taken.
Finally, Mr. Tue, with all the reports here where they come out and get alleged corruption case them against Parliament and members of Parliament them, we suicide defeat self been pull a report this BNTM. You think say the people them go still get confidence in Parliament as an institution and the people or then they elect for go represent them there?
Well, the people now the overall judge as far as Parliament concerned, because Parliament only accountable to the people of Sierra Leone. And because that the Constitution provides for. And in Section 5, subsection 2, it says sovereignty lies in the people. That through this Constitution, any figure for do with power, where for do with legitimacy, it is derived from the people. So yes, Parliament aware. And the people are the overall judge. We see what happened in the last election. Parliament had an attrition rate of over 80%. So the people are the judge. But as it stands, and we go be happy and encourage if them go give, convincing evidence, and then Parliament, go take appropriate action, then we go move forward as a nation.
All right, thank you
again,
very
I
much.
therefore make it very clear that I'm not here, to defend corruption or neither in support of corruption, because the cost of corruption, it don't actually, take this country to a level where Sierra Leoneans are generally dissatisfied. So I'm not here defending corruption.
All right, thank you very much, Sheikh Lamin Toure, Deputy Director, Public Education from the House of Parliament. So they continue with the program Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. We still get Ibrahim Tommy with we at the studio, we are the Executive Director for CAL.
And Ibrahim Tommy, you don't listen, you don't take note from the Parliament spokesperson. But before you can respond to that, take me through some of the institutions them we una mentioned and how corrupt people then say them be, and how then they corrupt.
Oh, thank you, Musa. if I don't file, I immediately respond since the matter is in fresh on my mind. But
Go ahead, sir.
so the we mentioned a number of institutions, the police, public health centers, public schools, parliament, local government, public universities, the judiciary, electricity services, land, many, I mean, over 20 institutions, right? So of the institutions, the police, nine rank, of course, the top most institution within, say, corrupt in the country, followed by public health centers. Then you get public schools, and then parliament, then local government.
Okay.
And local councils.
Look at Parliament as we get the spokesperson just respond to allegations. Say the civil societies are bittered because then they investigate the matters and in the interfere into the matters for see how they use couple way they come for people of Salone. Now that make una pull report like this. How people then tell una say the Parliament corrupt?
Listen, that statement was unfortunate, and I take the greatest exception to that. At the end of his statement, the man said not there for defend Parliament, but I wonder if he will defend Parliament with if for what they say. But let's put it this way: the people who elect parliamentarians, now then talk to we, not to me, not to civil society talk. So let's be clear. I mean, that's the education that we all need in this country. That what is saying that the people they're accountable to. When are the channels of accountability? One of the channels of accountability now for we self none of the people, by the way. Civil society where they call. Now the people and we elect parliamentarians. So sometimes they talk and make like we're not the part of them people. Like as an individual, the Constitution empower me. I think it's section 13 of the Constitution where say everybody get a right to participate in the government. Hold on, Musa. Wait. So it is the people we talk to we, not them views, not to me, not to civil society views. So let's make that very clear.
Now, how the people in Teruna say them corrupt? So because the spokesperson they deny say Parliament not ever in that direction.
So listen, I've said it's a perception.
And you also the challenge Carl for bring evidence.
So I'll get to that. So we have not. So this is the thing. Sometimes we talk. There's a lot. We all need for land in this country. We have not put together a list of allegations against Parliament for which we need for come with evidence for substantiate the allegation. What we have done is to have gone out and asked people. Now we get XYZ institution. You think say them corrupt? Yes. Which institutions they think say corrupt? They took just in perception. We have not gone into why you think say them corrupt. But during the key expert interviews, as I tell you now, so not to one approach you use. During the key expert interviews, we researchers now don't go out and talk to people. Don't they deal with Parliament? Don't they deal with police? Don't they deal with all the sectors there and say, now the data, the raw data from we survey, they show say the institutions are corrupt. Why do you think people think so? As experts who've been working in the field of corruption for a very long time, as I said moments ago in this program, they talk say two things where they inform them. First, in levels of interaction. Everyday people are going to police, they're going to hospital, they're going to school for deal with results. The other one, now visibility. How then they see parliamentarians, right? The other one back is people talking about the engagement with Parliament. Parliaments, they do their oversight functions and they travel across this country, monitoring MDs, local councils. People and they go for parliamentary confirmation hearings, the things that happen. You had the MP the other day on record. So this is not for us. Not to for make we get a banter with Parliament. We hopefully go use this as an opportunity. And the Speaker of Parliament said it in a BBC interview. He said this is not an opportunity for self-introspection. Let them take some, look at themselves. Let we all collaborate and help address this. One thing where the PRO talk about, what I want to talk about quickly. Now, the Parliament indeed they face genuine challenges. Their salaries are not going to be the best in the country. They get serious issues for dealing with the expectations of the public. and all of that. The demands on them huge. Yes, as civil society, I believe so. Get a rule for educate the people about waiting at the role of parliament and why they not for expect parliamentarian for they do crybearing every time post they die for the put bondo and things like that. That's something that we can do, but that does not explain why then perception they persist. And not to today this allegation begins.
Mr. Tommy, the person from Parliament, the Deputy Director of Public Education, make a point say Parliament be done they call on a civil society organization them for investigate or look inside money they wanna they take on behalf of the people of Sierra Leone and then find out say about 70% of the money then they wanna they use them on administration, maybe 30% they go back to the people, and maybe not that make una safe do such kind of reports with it for hit on Parliament.
I mean, there is no merit in that. I'm not even one for response to that one day. But let us be clear. The DCF or NGO policy, we done the work on that one day. Implementation that begin. NGOs on the register with moped. The activities that go on. Nothing change it as far as we're concerned. So that cannot be the reason. I tell you, if I not to one report to produce, so this is the thing. Always people and they find a way. Sometimes they feel say clever, but not to a clever way. It says a lot about you, how you react to things like this. We have done a cost of corruption report. We've done the public perception survey report. We've done the tax perception survey report as part of the consortium. We've done the budget credibility report. We monitor the anti-corruption court. They produce reports. So it's not like in fact, by the way, let me respond to his point about not present report to Parliament or not formally invite Parliament. This was not about Parliament. I've told you we interviewed people about over 25 public institutions, including Parliament. The same procedure we'll use for get representatives of their institutions for come to meetings for law discuss the report. Now we use for Parliament. Whether they be expect a special treatment is a different discussion. But to suggest that we'll not even engage them, one, I don't say on this program that ACC will be the lead help we for disseminate the report and also ensure engagement of public institutions, invite them. But on top of that, I've been in touch with the leadership of the Public Accounts Committee for law get engagement. But because of the corona, that never come true. Listen, we'll not do this in bad faith. I have no malice. The leadership of Parliament, most of them, half of them parliamentarians, I sabi them personally. Some of them, I classmate them. Some of them, I fumble them as a person in the sense that we all come from the same environment. I have nothing against anyone. And the people who interview not get anything personal against MP. In fact, some of them not even sabi. Most of the MPs is just what they think about them, what they feel about them, and how they see them, what they hear about them. And by the way, it's not totally unfounded. We don't get Khadija recount some of the stories. ACC still they investigate, of course. ACC still get for camera. The commissioner just blocks that investigation there at an advanced stage. You will hear some from the ACC. But I have to say this, not to everybody at Parliament. Let me be very clear. Not to everybody at Parliament, even though they see the parliamentarians are the second most corrupt group of individuals, but not to everybody in Parliament
so
to be corrupt.
Most people believe
there are decent people
Mr.
in Parliament
most people
where they do very good job for make sure say we move the country before. Unfortunately, we then carry reports there, we're not going to distinguish between the one that are the good and decent and the one where they participate in their alleged,
Most people believe say even the members of Parliament them where these perception reports don't indict so. Then fully aware say yes, we involved in corruption. You agree with that?
But you don't agree. The rumor is that parliamentarians they discuss this among themselves, now their own private groups and spaces within the.
That is just a rumor, Mr. Tommy. And they talk now about you as an individual, where you self na Sierra Leonean. Some of the issues there, so they affect you because you self na a voter. We them carry the vote and elect somebody for represent you in a parliament. You believe say we elected member of parliament then truly involved in corrupt practices?
Belief not got nothing to do with this report, but what I know is that corruption is a serious problem in this country. It cut across every. Listen, if I say that, it would mean that I get evidence. Me as a person not get evidence for saying that, but I tell you say corruption pervasive. In fact, the report they tell you say 73% of the people and thinks that corruption is a very major issue in this country. In fact, there's about 80% say the most very 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 serious problem.
So now, blanket survey on the parliament without segregating Wuda and Wuda involved. Somebody go say go dampen the spirit of the people or some way good in parliament, because somebody go say parliament still get good parliamentarians them.
No. Musa, no, unfortunately, that's not how perception surveys are done. We not get that term for begin.
You can't name them, but you get the leadership. You get
50% of the
you
people,
get individuals.
Wait, 50% of the people of this country never know that categorization they talk about. That segmentation. Oh, they're not leadership. Oh, they're not this. They're not clerk. They don't even pretend like they do. If as you begin